Friday morning. The 49-year-old who'd been working in the construction industry died later in hospital. A man in his 30s arrested this afternoon is being questioned at Tallaght Garda station. Obesity experts are warning that junk food is being relentlessly marketed at children. An Oireachtas committee heard earlier that some companies are now using social media to target unhealthy food and drink at young people. The Irish Heart Foundation thinks marketing junk food to under 16s should be banned. Clinical psychologist Dr. Adele Keating says stigma is a big issue when it comes to tackling childhood obesity.
What we find is that there's very few community services who intervene with these families because of the stigma around addressing obesity with families at a primary care level.
That's it for now. More at 8.
News Talk Weather.
Thanks to Des Kelly Interiors. Our friendly staff will help you choose the perfect carpet at the new look Des Kelly Interiors.
Tonight, cloud will increase across the country, bringing a little patchy light rain in places. Mild with lowest temperatures 9 to 11 degrees. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
Off the Ball.
In association with the Air Sport app, allowing you to cast your favourite sporting action from your tablet or mobile phone straight to your TV.
This is News Talk.
How's it going? You're welcome along to Wednesday's Off the Ball. Nathan with you this evening. We're here all the way through until 10 o'clock. Wednesday night rugby coming away in around an hour from now. Rory O'Connor and Johnny Murphy chatting to us ahead of a big weekend for Leinster and Munster. We have Leinster Scarlets live here on Saturday afternoon. We're also going to be talking to Joy Neville, the referee who's over in Tokyo at the moment with the World Women's Sevens Series. She is right trailblazer. She has refereed in the Pro 14 over the past year, in the European Challenge Cup. She is the World Rugby Referee of the Year, and she was also honoured at the Rehab Person and People of the Year Awards this weekend. So we're looking forward to chatting to her around about 7:30. On the football show tonight, we're going to chat with Miguel Delaney about what may or may not happen at Manchester United this summer and Jose Mourinho's mood swings, which means right now he's only got 7 or 8 players that he actually wants at the club and that he trusts. And we're also going to talk about the relegation battle as well. There's live football also throughout the evening. There's the lights go a little bit crazy in here. 53106 is the text number at Off the Ball on Twitter. We're on all our social channels, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, all that jazz. So do get in touch. Richie, how's it going?
How are you, Nathan?
I like the Ric Flair t-shirt.
Thank you very much. Made it myself.
Did you buy it in pennies?
No.
Special online purchase. How much did that cost you?
If you had hair, would you want it to be like Ric Flair?
100%.
Would it? Yeah, I can well imagine.
Bleached back. I'd be going around in a feathery robe all the live long day, wooing the life out of people.
What age was Ric Flair in that t-shirt that you have? Because as he went on, the hair got more scraggly, but that's a full-on, beautiful.
I'm guessing this would have been...
That's probably early 90s, that, would you say?
Oh, that's early 80s.
Is it that far?
Probably about 83, 84, yeah.
He would have been around my age, but he still had the head of hair.
Heading for 40.
I am.
How are you, Kev?
I'm very good, Nathan.
Speaking of 40.
Really good, yeah. Yeah, there's only one person in studio that's 40.
Yourself? Yeah. Why, are you 40, Richie?
No,
he's
not Nathan.
He's not 40 yet.
It's got a bit awkward. I didn't realise your age was such a touchy subject.
You thought he was 43.
Tipping towards that. Thanks, Kev.
We all are. But Kev, yeah, listen, Kev, you're getting better with age. Isn't that the main thing?
Hardly.
So we have some live football tonight. Manchester United against Bournemouth. The team of the year has been announced.
Yeah.
The PFA team of the year voted by the players. Did you ever get any votes?
I don't know.
Did you take it seriously?
Well, I used to vote for all the Irish boys. Robbie Keane, Damien Duff.
You can't do that.
I'm not bothered.
You can't do that.
Come on.
Shea Given was number 1 every season. Probably deserved it, actually, half the time.
Come on, Kev.
No.
You're letting everybody down.
No.
This is
supposed to be an accurate reflection of the
This should be a serious reward to honour the best players, and you're taking the piss, essentially, voting for your mates.
I'm not taking the piss.
What else would you call it?
They deserve it. Stevie Finnan would have gone in at right back.
That's fair enough.
Kenny Cunningham would have gone at centre half.
He's probably stretching it there.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I wasn't taking the piss doing it. I used to pick the side, but there's always...
But I'd put all my mates in.
There's always 5 or 6 Irish boys thrown in there.
Stephen Hunt on the wing.
No, Hunty never got me voted. No. No.
Why?
Because you're voting for yourself.
No, because...
Can you vote for yourself?
I was going to say something really harsh there, but I'm not going to say that. No,
That's even worse, because now Hunty's listening in, imagining all sorts.
Yeah. No. Your first reflex was to say something terrible.
Hunty might have got it one year. Hunty might have got in there one year when he's played at Reading. His first season at Reading,
maybe. You're pandering.
Maybe.
You're pandering.
Maybe.
So if you were voting this year, would you have included an Irish player, would you put Seamus Coleman in for the fight he showed to get back fully fit?
Back fully fit. I'd tell you, I would have voted for him every season, probably for the last 5 years.
I can't. You see, I kind of feel if I was a footballer, I would have looked forward to the day that the letter arrived.
Well, I can tell you something now. Every time it goes on, this is generally the conversation, right? So, the PFA rep would be handed a list of, or a pile of about 20 ballot papers. Handed to the lads and like, oh, jeez, do I have to do this?
Why,
seriously?
what's the problem?
This is what's said. This is what's said, right? So, I used to do it. I used to sit down with the lads, have a bit of crack and do the. But a lot of the lads would have been like, come on. Just fill it out for me. Just do it for me. Just fill it out. And that would have been the conversation. Who's the right back? Who's the right back? Stephen Carr, Stevie Finnan, whoever. Yeah, go on, stick him in. Yeah, go on. Centre half. Yeah, go on. Yeah, that's it, he'll do, yeah. Player of the year. Yeah, they kind of generally know. The player of the year would have been fine, but the team of the year would have been kind of like, yes, just stick him in.
This is like a peek behind the curtain at Oz.
Well,
finding out the whole thing is a sham.
What else have you got to be thinking about all day to use a little bit of brain power for? You watch a lot of football, do you not? You have opinions on the game.
Yeah.
Why not take it seriously?
No, I must say, I would have done it. I honestly, genuinely, I would have liked it. I would have sat down every season, would have enjoyed it.
Considering your right back options were Stephen Carr or Steve Finnan. Oh, Gary Neville, well done on winning the old treble there, Gary.
I would have put Gary Neville in. Of course I would have put Gary. In general, though, Shea would have probably got me vote, because I would have thought at the time I would have been maybe Everton or Sunderland, whatever it would be. Shea, I felt, would have been the best keeper in the Premier League, so I would have gone with him a lot of the time.
So you voted for your best mate as goalkeeper every year. Can we put a text in with Shea and see if he voted for his best mate
Shea
as
wouldn't have
left back every year?
No, selfish given. No, I would have done. I'd have voted for him because I thought it was justified. And I would have voted around. You know, Van Nistelrooy, I remember voting for 1 year. I would, all this sort of thing.
So generous.
That upsets me.
Why?
I'd like to think that you, of all people, would have taken this seriously.
I did take it serious.
Properly rewarded the players who've excelled in
genuinely,
this game.
right. No, this is how I would have voted, right? Now, I mean, bearing in mind, I would have watched a lot of football as much as I could, but there would have been 2 or 3 weeks at times I wouldn't have watched football because I would have been training. Like you said that you've got a lot of time in your hands. If you're a professional footballer, Nathan, you don't have time in your hands. I'm telling you that now. So if you're serious about being a professional footballer, you're going at 8:30 in the morning, you go into the gym, lads are doing the yoga, Pilates, you're training, you're getting yourself prepared for training, you go into the training ground. After training, you go to the gym, you do everything right, and then you go home. If you've got time in your hands, you're not a professional footballer as far as I'm concerned. That's the way that I used to look at it.
What about the rest and recuperation when you're lying on the couch?
No, well, I'd say maybe when my kids were born, I would have been messing about with the kids. I would have been you're trying to be a dad.
I don't know, Kev.
So
that's a full-time job.
Can't imagine there's too much sympathy coming in for the old professional footballers.
I'm not saying that. But if you're a professional footballer, all this rubbish that lads are finishing training at 12 o'clock, you train for an hour and a half. You can't stay on the training ground for more than an hour and a half because you just physically can't do it. But if you're a professional footballer, you've got to put the time in before training and the time in after training. So. Yeah, all that adage, that old saying that players have got time on their hands, it's rubbish.
So the PFA Team of the Year has been announced. What we can read into it right now, I'm not sure. There's no Irish players there because there's not enough of them to vote for each other. No one actually gets in anymore, unfortunately.
Like
so we have our own OTB Teams of the Year.
Oh God!
You can text in your abuse to 53106. So I'll tell you who the players have gone for. They've probably gone for all the obvious ones.
Right.
Goalkeeper, voted by the professional footballers of Great Britain, David De Gea of Manchester
England,
United.
Actually. It's not Great Britain, it's England.
Of England.
Yes.
Apologies. Of England. David De Gea.
England and Wales, sorry. Partial Wales.
The Swansea and Cardiff lads get a vote.
Yeah.
All right. David De Gea. Do you agree? Is he your selection?
He is my selection, yes.
Richie McCormack.
David De Gea, yes. He was my selection in goal.
Not for me, pal. Ederson.
Well, you said this last night.
Oh, God.
It's nonsense.
No, come on, you're wrong here.
Ederson makes crucial saves, which David De Gea does. This doesn't mean David De Gea is a terrible footballer.
Not
that I
saying
don't
that
respect him.
But you're still wrong.
I think Ederson has been such a key player to Manchester City winning the league with the way he starts attacks, with the way he fits into their style of football, that he deserves to be the...
I can't disagree with your logic in it, but David De Gea is more important to Man United than Ederson is to Man City.
If Shea Given was still playing at 42 this year, would you have voted for Shea Given?
I would have voted for David De Gea. I would have voted for David De Gea.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. Right back in the Team of the Year, Kyle Walker of Manchester City.
He is in my Team of the Year, indeed.
Not for me, pal.
Oh, controversial.
Antonio Valencia.
No, Richie.
I'm having it, Richie. I've also gone for Antonio Valencia.
There's a man who knows.
Kyle Walker's had a good season, but he's playing for the best team in the league. And he hasn't been outstanding. You're not looking at Kyle Walker thinking, possibly the best right back in the world right now.
Well, okay. If that's what you think, but I think Kyle Walker's had a better season than Antonio Valencia personally.
Also, because I don't have David De Gea, I can't have a team with no Manchester United players in it.
Ah, right. You'd have got a lot of stick. So now you've
the accusations of bias.
Well, the thing is, you've just slaughtered me.
You're
for being
pulling
biased.
a Coban here.
It's a headache.
You've just slaughtered me for being a little bit biased to a couple of my international teammates, and now all of a sudden you're being biased.
I'm the only one in this room taking this seriously.
At left back, Marcus Alonso of Chelsea.
That's what the players choose.
That's who the players have chosen.
Because they're clearly
Alonso
drunk.
of Chelsea.
Yeah, he's not in mine now.
Who have you gone for?
I've gone for Andy Robertson.
As have I.
So have I.
Off.
Yeah.
You see, is this where the constant criticism comes that they're voting too early in the season?
No, do you know what? Well, Marcus Alonso scored 7 goals, and I definitely understand. I understand maybe the logic in it, but I just think, and he's played a lot more games than Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson, I think I got to say he's only played 25 Premier League games. So I understand the logic in Alonso. I personally think that as the season's progressed, Robertson's got better and better, and I think he's been better. So that's why
3 votes for Andy Robertson. He's in. Your centre-back pairing, so the PFA have selected Jan Vertonghen of Spurs and Nicolas Otamendi of Manchester City. Who have you gone for as your 2?
I've gone for Nicolas Otamendi and James Tarkowski.
I've gone for Jan Vertonghen and Ben Mee.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I've actually wrote him in there. I had to write him in there. I've put James Tarkowski in brackets Ben Mee. It was I've just gone maybe 55, just a little bit better than 50% on Tarkowski. But I couldn't argue with Richie's on Ben Mee either.
I've also gone for James Tarkowski.
Yeah.
And I've gone for Jamal Lascelles.
Good call. Good call. Lascelles was in
Again,
the
I think Vertonghen has a very good season. I'm looking at, I don't think any of the centre-backs in the top 5 or 6 teams have been exceptional to the extent that
Otamendi's had a bad few weeks.
Alderweireld was last season, where he was head and shoulders above everyone.
I think Otamendi's been the best centre-half in the Premier League. He's had a bad couple of weeks, granted a bad month, but Nicolas Otamendi consistently been the best centre-halves in the Premier League, I think.
I think Newcastle's survival has been based around their defence, about the leadership of Lascelles, and he deserves to be in there. He deserves some recognition.
I'm with you.
You're all about the top 6, Kev. You're a snob. You don't care about the lesser
teams. Well, I
teams.
just think how bad Nicolas Otamendi has been over the last few years to get the turnaround you've got from him from a defensive point of view and everything. That's why I've gone with Otamendi.
Michael is outraged. Kev, you can't have preordained picks for the team of the year. Where's your integrity? Says a lot about you as a man.
As a journalist as well.
Thank you.
As a journalist. Right, we'll get on to midfield. We will get on to midfield very quickly. We better tear along.
He already is.
Forget about the news.
Speeding up.
Yeah.
So midfield 3, as selected by the PFA, are David Silva, Christian Eriksen, Kevin De Bruyne.
As I have gone with our 3.
De Bruyne, yes. Silva, yes. And I've stuck with Mr. N'Golo Kante.
Yeah.
I have also gone with Silva and De Bruyne. They're nailed on. I have also gone with Fernandinho.
Good call.
It's a good call. Again, I just think Christensen, I couldn't not have him in the side, given what he did to us in the playoffs. Eriksen, yeah. I couldn't overlook him, and I think consistently, I think he's created. I couldn't not have Eriksen in the side.
Well, now you've just opened a whole other can of worms. Are we judging this on international form or what they've done in the Premier League?
No, it's internationals. That's how you're voting. You're voting from Mark, and Kenny will probably correct you on it.
You're voting for players who've played over the 38 games of the Premier League season.
You're voting for the PFA Premier League Team of the Year.
The PFA. No, it's not. It's the Premier League, but it's the PFA. You're judging everything. You're taking everything.
This is a sham and a shambles.
It's
and
not.
A sham.
You meant to, because that's how.
Sounds to me like you're making it up as you go along, Kev.
Oh, perhaps.
Are there not rules and regulations on the sheet? No, there should be.
Well, I think Eriksen cannot be. Again, Kante's had a very good season, but Eriksen has probably been Spurs' most consistent player across this season, I feel. So I've gone with Eriksen.
And then the front 3 are Mo Salah, Sergio Aguero, and Harry Kane.
And I've gone for 2 of those 3.
As have I.
I've gone for those 3.
Yeah.
Who have you gone with?
I've gone for Mo Salah, Harry Kane, and Roberto Firmino.
I've gone for Mo Salah, Harry Kane, and then I was 50-50, but I've gone with Leroy Sané.
Yeah, good. I've put Sterling in brackets and I've put Aguero in brackets again. You could tell me anything you want to. I've not put Sané. I think Roberto Firmino, and Richie kind of mocked me when I actually wrote about it a while ago. I'm not bothered.
So he was the best number 9 in the Premier League.
The best striker in the world, I think, is what he was.
I think over the last 4 or 5 months now, I think Roberto Firmino has been the best. We're not talking from goal scoring. I'm talking everything that he's bringing. Roberto Firmino's been the best striker in the Premier League. Yeah.
And if you could select a 9.5 in your team, Roberto Firmino would be in that position. Yeah. Aguero ahead of Firmino in the team of the year. They're not doing much to dispel the myth that footballers are thick.
Well, I've had to put Firmino on the left-hand side. I couldn't have Firmino on the side. Firmino's been sensational.
You see, you can't, again, how do you think about it? Because you're never going to go for a midfield of Silva, Eriksen and De Bruyne. You need somebody like Fernandinho, just to provide a little bit of balance.
But you know what saves up with Aguero? If you look at his stats, you lads are stats men. His goal scoring record. I think it's the best in the Premier League goals to time on the field. I think he's only played 25 games this season, Premier League games. He's got 21 goals. So you could always make that argument that Aguero deserves to be in.
In fairness to Killer, it sounds like he approached the Player of the Year in the same way as any other employee approaches an end-of-year company or staff evaluation, with ambivalence because it's extra paperwork that's a pain in the neck, says Dennis.
Always vote in the middle. Go for number 3.
And so far, radio silence from Shay on whether he ever picked Kev in his Team of the Year.
I think the longer this goes on from Shay, the more damning it is, really.
I think it's nailed on that
if there's any Irish internationals listening in this evening and you voted for Kev, his confidence taking's a bit of a battering right now.
If I was a betting man, which, as you know, I am, I'd say it's odds on that Shay never voted for me.
That's sad.
Wow.
I guess, to end that talk.
Considering we have 5 minutes left in the news round, we've only covered the hot topic of the Team of the Year, Richie. We should cover some other things.
I'll clatter on through it. Manchester United aiming to return to winning ways in the Premier League tonight. They're away to Bournemouth. United have made several changes, in fact 7 changes from the side that lost at the weekend. David De Gea starts in goal. Back 4, Matteo Darmian, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling and Luke Shaw. In midfield it's Ander Herrera, Marouane Fellaini and Paul Pogba, while Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial make up the front 3. For Bournemouth, Asmir Begovic starts in goal. They've then got a back 4 as Simon Francis, Steve Cook, Nathan Ake, Charlie Daniels. In midfield it's Ryan Fraser, Lewis Cook, Andrew Sermon and Jordan Ibe, with Joshua King in behind Callum Wilson. Kick-off at the Vitality is at 7:45. It's feared that Sean O'Brien's season is over. The 42.ie reported today that the Leinster flanker may require surgery to fix an ongoing shoulder issue. O'Brien played just 40 minutes of his comeback game against Benetton last Saturday and is a major doubt for this Saturday's Champions Cup semi-final with the Scarlets, which, as Nathan mentioned, is live and off the ball. If he does require surgery, it would likely spell the end of O'Brien's season. Ken Doherty today missed out on a place at the World Snooker Championships. He lost his final qualifier 10-2 to Matthew Stevens earlier today. And emotional Stevens is delighted to bridge a 2-year gap away from the Crucible.
I felt really comfortable. Put a lot of hard work in, and that's the key. Obviously, if you don't put the work in, like I've openly admitted the last couple of years, I've been a bit lazy and thing like that. But I felt a bit emotional actually winning then. It was with Ken as well, especially playing Ken, and I lost a good friend a few weeks ago in the Welsh Open, and that's for him.
So JP texted Shay Given and said, Shay, Kev's just said on air that he always gave you a vote for Team of the Year.
Oh.
Did you ever return the favour? Shay Given has responded.
If he says yes, he'll be saying it just to try and make me feel good about myself.
Oh my God, I can't take the tension.
I thought Kev was a left back. Smiley, winky face. He had a little emoji.
Oh my God, Kev. I just feel bad for you. You okay?
I'm grand.
Your best mate wouldn't even give you a vote.
I'm grand.
It's harsh, isn't it?
I think Carzo would have voted for me, so that's all right, yeah.
Look where that got you.
Yeah.
2006 world champion Graham Dott is one of those to reach the first round proper today. He had a 10-7 win over Mike Dunn. Also wins as well for Joe Perry, Ricky Walden and Stuart Carrington. As you mentioned, Manchester City dominating the PFA Premier League Team of the Year with 5 of their title winning squad included among their 11. The only Republic of Ireland representation in the PFA Teams of the Year comes in the League 2 selection. 31-year-old defender Alan Sheehan has been rewarded for helping Luton's push for promotion, while Wigan and Northern Ireland striker Will Grigg has been named in the League 1 Team of the Year.
Sorry, Rich, are you saying there's only one Irish player that's in the whole leagues? Graham Carey. He's been unbelievable this year. That's a joke. I'm not having that. Not having that at all.
Couldn't hear what you were saying. Sorry, JP, pressed the wrong button.
No worries. No worries.
We are here with Air, the home of Air Sport. Get amazing live sporting content free with Air Broadband.
Saul Canelo Alvarez has been banned from boxing for 6 months as the result of a positive drugs test. The former light middleweight title holder tested positive for the banned clenbuterol earlier this year. The Nevada State Athletic Commission today banned Alvarez for a year, but suspended 6 months of that term as the Mexican fighter, they say, cooperated with its investigations. Alvarez will be eligible to fight again come August 17th, which may see him the following month then meet up with Gennady Golovkin for his ban, saw him miss out on a May 5th rematch with the undisputed world middleweight champion. The Kazakh will instead fight Vanes Martizarian at LA's StubHub Centre next month. However, that bout will likely see Golovkin stripped of his IBF belt. Golovkin's camp have been informed of the IBF's refusal to grant approval to the Golovkin-Martizarian fight. The main reasons as to why they don't agree with the two boxers fighting are that Martizarian's coming off a loss. He's a junior middleweight who'll be moving up in weight, and he hasn't fought in 2 years. So one less belt for Golovkin there. Former Cork City defender Brian Lenihan today forced to retire from football, aged just 23. The Hull City player says he's following medical advice after a recurring knee injury limited his playing time in recent seasons. He only managed one game earlier this season in the Carabao Cup. He's an Ireland under-21 international, is Lenihan, and trained with the senior squad ahead of the Euro 2016 qualifiers with both Gibraltar and Germany.
Lads, no matter how bad your teams are, and I don't think we accepted at any stage that there were any problems with our teams, Neil Custis from The Sun put Eric Bailly in his team of the season on the Sunday Supplement a few weeks ago.
Did he?
That's Eric Bailly, who has started 8 games in the league this season.
Yeah. The only one I should have thought him out there, and I would have been tempted to put him in if I actually would come to my head, and I should have thought of him. Shane Duffy. Shane Duffy would have been the only Irish one who could have been considered.
Declan Rice.
No, Shane Duffy.
Rice would probably get in the team of the year, wouldn't he? Or young player, the young team of the year.
Yeah, it was young team. If that was a vote for that one, but Shane Duffy, I think's had a very good season. I think you could put him in a Tarkovsky and Ben Bean bracket. Yeah.
Elsewhere today, this year's All-Ireland finalists dominate the first AIB Club Players Hurling Team of the Year. All-Ireland champions Coola and beaten finalists Piarsaigh each have 6 of their number in the 15. Ballygunners Philip Mahoney, Liam Mellows forward Adrian Morrissey and Brendan Rodgers of Schlockneil make up the balance. Coola duo Conor Callahan and Sean Moran and Michael Casey of na Piarsaigh are the players nominated for Player of the Year. The Premier League is backing the British Sports Minister Tracy Crouch's decision to reject safe standing trials for fans at matches in England. The Top Flight says it's carrying out its own research, and so far only 5% of supporters say they want to stand for the whole match, but it's believed the amount of fans surveyed is in the low thousands. All-Seater Stadia, of course, banned following the publication of the Taylor report, which came after the Hillsborough disaster.
Where do you stand now, Kev? Excuse the pun.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Very good, very good. Well, I used to love the days as a kid. I used to crawl under the turnstiles to try to get in when I was a kid at Preston. But
doesn't take the PFA award seriously. Yeah. Broke into grounds.
Well, I had no money to get into the ground, Rich. That's why I had to crawl under the turnstiles.
That's no excuse for your stealing, Kevin.
So, I used to stand on the cop at Preston. So I'd probably say I'd like to think that, you know, with what Celtic have done over the last few years and the safe standing that's gone on there, I'd love for it to be reintroduced. But I understand with what has happened, of course, Hillsborough's very much in a lot of people's minds that there's a lot of negativity towards it.
We'll chat a bit more about that on the football show, which is coming up after 9 o'clock. Big L Delaney as well on Manchester United and Jose Mourinho and who he wants and who he doesn't want at Old Trafford after the summer. And Nels Richie?
Brighton defender Gaetan Bong, he insists he didn't mishear West Brom striker Jay Rodriguez, who he accused of racially abusing him during a Premier League match back in January. The claim was found not proven by an independent tribunal, and Rodriguez has always denied it. But in a statement released by Brighton, Bong says his conscience is clear and those accused of him lying don't know him, is his word today.
All right, cheers to that, Richie. Kev is along for the evening as well. So coming up after 8 o'clock, we're going to talk to Rory O'Connor and Johnny Murphy ahead of a huge weekend in the European Champions Cup. Mike Carlson coming your way as well as we look at the Patriots and what is going on with Tom Brady in the off-season. But up next, we're going to be talking to the World Rugby Referee of the Year, Joy Neville.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
In association with the Air Sport app, allowing you to cast your favourite sporting action from your tablet or mobile phone straight to your TV.
Think you've got what it takes to become one of the next Aldi suppliers? Down to Business and Bobby's Late Breakfast on News Talk have teamed up with Aldi in partnership with Bord Bia to showcase the best food and drink suppliers Ireland has to offer. Not only will you benefit from a supplier mentoring and development programme, but you'll also have the chance to get your product on the shelf